Hi there, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to go through the pros and cons of nail clippers versus nail grinder for your dogs. So keep on watching. Okay, so I'm going to go over the pros and cons of the nail clipper first. This is about a medium size, actually maybe a little bit on the smaller side. You can get, a good thing about nail clippers is you can get all different sizes. So if your dog's tiny, you can get really small clippers, medium size, and for extra large dogs, they come in a very large size. I stick to the same size just because I have small hands and I just feel like it's more manageable in my hand. So you have the variety with the nail clipper that you wouldn't in a grinder. They're very sharp, so when you cut the nail, it cuts through the nail quickly, and yes, it makes a noise, but it's less noisy, and they're inexpensive. Like this probably costs $7 or $8. So that's a good chunk of positives for nail clippers. Now, cons of a nail clipper: some dogs don't like the abrupt, quick sound that it makes. The biggest con would be if you get too close to the quick, especially doing black nails, you can bleed the nail. And that's the biggest complaint with people, is that they're afraid and they're hesitant to do their own dog's nails because they're afraid they're going to bleed them. And to be totally honest, groomers bleed them too. And you buy the what's that stuff called? It's septic. Yeah. And even at home you can cauterize the nail with cornstarch or flour if you don't have the septic powder. So that's probably the biggest con. And sometimes, well, a lot of the time, this spring that's in this particular nail clipper will fall out, and if that falls out and you lose it, the nail clipper is basically useless. But there are nail clippers out there that don't have the spring, but the majority of them do. Like my favorite ones happen to have the spring. And that's about it for cons for nail clippers. Okay, so for a grinder or a Dremel, probably the best pros for this is you get a very smooth finish on the nails. So you can work at the nail until there's not, because with a nail clipper it's very, very sharp. So the dogs, a lot of people get upset because their dogs are destroying their hardwood floors. This will definitely help that. You can vary the speed on a Dremel, so it can go really slow. If the dogs gets too upset with the high speed, you can lower it. And you're much less likely to bleed a nail with a Dremel because you'll see the quick coming and you can stop. Whereas with a nail clipper, if you hit the quick, you hit the quick. So those are the pros to a Dremel. Then the cons to a Dremel is they can be relatively noisy, and it takes a lot longer to do the nails with a Dremel or with a nail grinder. So the dog has to be very, very patient for a lot longer time. And the expense of a Dremel or nail grinder versus a nail clipper is a lot higher. So I would say in general that there's probably more cons to a grinder than there is to nail clippers. So I will demonstrate on my dog. I'm going to do a couple nails with the nail clipper and a couple nails with the grinder just to show you the difference. So this is Mabel, and Mabel's a nervous Nelly. She's been in other videos of ours. So are you ready for your nails to be done, Mabel? Yes, I know. You're just my best girl, aren't you? Okay, so there's Mabel's little sharp nails. And I'm just going to show you tipping the nail with the nail clipper, right, Mabel? Boop. Good girl. And one more just to show you. Boop. See, so the tips have been taken off. No blood, and we're all good. So now I'm going to show you the Dremel, the difference. So she didn't really she wasn't bothered by the nails, the clipper. So now we're going to try the Dremel and see how that goes. So now I've got the Dremel, and to be honest, Mabel's never had the Dremel, so this is going to be all a big surprise to me too. Yeah, is that okay? See, in her nail, this is another negative thing with the Dremel, is her nail's almost too long to be using the Dremel, and you also, don't mind that big nasty thing on my finger, you can also catch the hair in the Dremel and pull the hair off of the dog. Good girl. It's okay. I know. You're doing a lot of kissing. See how it's wearing down on the tip? But see, she has to be so patient. And I'm not holding her in a proper position because I want you to see it on the film. And she's really eating my face right now. See how it's grinding down? And to be honest, when I'm cutting the nails, like if I was doing my own dog's nails, I'd probably trim them with the nail clipper first, and then I would grind them, because a long nail is a lot to grind, all with the grinder. So I would cut some and then grind them to smooth them out. So basically, to summarize it all, I highly recommend nail clippers for home, and leave the Dremel up to your groomer, because it's a lot of work. If you're hesitant to use a Dremel, you could go to the groomer for a Dremel and then just do the upkeep yourself with the nail clippers at home. And just, even if you're just taking the tips of the nails off, it helps, because you don't want the quicks to grow too long. And then if you're not comfortable doing the Dremel, just take the dog to the Dremel at your grooming appointment and ask for the Dremel. Or I'm sure your groomer will do Dremeling just alone as a separate appointment. So you have that option as well. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and I'd love to hear what you guys choose to use at home, because getting everybody else's input for me is helpful too. Being a groomer, I like to hear what people's favorites are. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.